with that, I'm going to introduce our speaker for today, who has offered us something a little bit different and unique. One of the things that I've been hearing a lot is that people want more ceremony, more activity, more exploration, more kind of diving into the deep end of the pool instead of spending all of our time down in the kiddie pool part. So Jennifer Frysz is going to be offering us a month-long exploration. She'll tell you more about that, but today, and we already have her booked for the follow-up event. Phil and I were at the Whole Life Festival. We met Jennifer at Whole Life. I went over and talked to her, and we started talking, and it took me about 30 seconds to go, ooh, that little Jean was like, she's gonna be a good speaker. She's gonna be a good speaker. And as we started talking, she's like, what I like to do is really see the changes that happen in people, and that really resonated with me. Doing the work that I do, having a front row seat to the changes that people make is a big part of the joy that comes from this. So I'll introduce Jennifer. Jennifer works out at J-Bear. She's a social worker. She works in traditional type of counseling, and she's one of us'ns. She's an energy worker. She's a deep diver into the metaphysical world, and she's beginning to explore some outside stuff. And this is one of the first times that she's taught this material publicly. And when I was speaking to her at the Whole Life Festival, I'm like, Adam is the group that you want to come to, because we are curious, we are insatiable, we like to dive right in, we like to explore. And she says, man, it sounds like my kind of people. So with that, would you join me in welcoming Jennifer Frysz? Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure to be here. And I will tell you that also as well today, before you leave, I do have a little something for you. So just something I wanted to give you that I like to do. I give them to so I do mental health services for security. This is on? Can you hear me okay, everybody?
It's on.
Okay.
Fine.
Yep.
So security forces, I do their mental health care. So if they're having a bad day, if they have a bad call out, if something's going on for them, I provide their mental health care over on J-Bear for them, and I really enjoy that work as well. So I've been a social worker since 1997. I'm about to be a grandma in a couple months, so there's a lot going on. And energy work kind of got into my space where I was involved in some relationships that I feel like, unfortunately, maybe were a little bit imbalanced. You know, I felt like I was giving and not receiving. I felt like I was chasing people. I felt like I was seeking validation a lot. And I realized that I just wasn't very happy. And I was trying to figure out, like, what was going on? What's the common denominator? And all of those things that happen in friendships, that happen in romantic relationships. And then I realized the only common denominator is me. And so I'm like, what can I do, or what's going on with me? And I thought for a very long time that I was supposed to live a life of just giving to other people and never receiving. I felt that was going to be my purpose in life. And so, but that was kind of depressing as well. So I struggled with a lot of those things. And so one day after that one last relationship, it wasn't a bad one, it just again was imbalanced. And I thought to myself, what am I going to do? And all of a sudden, all this stuff on Facebook started showing up about energy work. And I grew up Catholic. I really had never in a million years ever thought to even think about these types of things in a different kind of way. And my religious programming, and again, everybody's got programming that the people that raised us brought us to. So it doesn't necessarily mean it's good or bad, but it's programming nonetheless that creates our subconscious thoughts, and our subconscious thoughts creates our feelings, our behaviors, and our actions, and what we do in life. So one bottom line is that one thing that we all have in common that I think we forget that we're born with is the ability to choose. So on 7/23, on 7/25/23, I decided to choose me. So one of my quotes on my business card is, when are you going to choose you? Because that's one of the things that we're here to remember, is that we're all here to be able to make choices and to remember that we have those choices. And I think that's one of the things that in life, even at my age now, almost 52 years old, I've realized that life is about choices, and I do have control over them, and so do you. So with that all being said, I wanted to kind of start things opening up with a little bit, asking you, have you ever struggled in your life with feeling like you've tried so many different things, and you just are in a space where you haven't been able to move the needle for the things that you want in your life? Have you ever felt stuck?
No.
Yep. No? Ever felt that maybe, maybe you've tried like self-care, maybe you've prayed, maybe you've meditated, maybe you've done so many different things and still feel like you can't shift the needle? Well, today what I'm going to do is I want to teach you a little about some of the blockages that could be getting in your way that you may not even realize that are there. Some of these blockages, some of them are environmental. So definitely want you to look at the environment that you're surrounded in all the time. Work, home, people, things of that nature. And again, I'm not going to blame other people. It's not about blaming anybody. It's about awareness and then having that choice. And if you don't get anything out of today's talk, there's two things I'm going to tell you that I absolutely guarantee you will help change your life. One of them is setting an intention, because that's super important. Your mind's a very powerful thing. So setting intentions, whether it be through prayer, meditation, or anything else, setting an intention sets the tone. That's what brings all of your guides and awareness or whatever religious practices you believe in, that puts everybody on notice of what you want in the universe. But also you have to take action. So those of us, and that was one of the hardest lessons I ever had to learn. I'm like, why can't people just be nice? Why can't they just be nice? Why am I always doing all these things? Why can't the world bend and do things that are just nice? And if we're all just nice to each other, there wouldn't be problems. And then I realized that we're all living amongst free will and doing what we need to do in our lives. And so therefore, I have to make a choice. And I have to look for opportunities. And I have to create this space for myself to be able to make the life and create the life that I want to lead. And I think that part of us being here in this life is remembering what we're supposed to be doing for our purpose work. And it was about 3 years ago again that I realized this is my purpose work. This is what I'm here to do. So with that all being said, I would like to, you ever heard of energetic containers? So collectively you all have different gifts. I have gifts, you have gifts, so collectively, if we were to create an energetic space together today, this is something that you can always come back to at another time. So what I'd like to be able to do to kind of create that energetic space for us and to kind of create that so that we can all share that collective as a group is just doing 3 rounds of breath, taking a deep breath in, like box breathing, just take 4 in, hold for 4, exhale for 4, pause for 4, and start it again. And what I'll do is I'll count with my fingers or I'll count out loud. You can shut your eyes. I just want us to be able to create space. So whatever is on your mind right now, if you're thinking about your grocery list later, if you're thinking about what you need to do, if you're thinking about what's Jen going to be doing, can she just get to the point? Because yes, I do circle a little bit, but whatever is collectively on your mind right at this moment, I want us to be able to kind of take that, release that a little bit so we can be present and grounded in kind of what we're going to be doing next. Does that sound okay with everybody?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
So I'm going to count out loud, and also those of you who want to keep your eyes open, I'll just use my fingers as well. So again, box breathing. We're going to do 3 rounds. Then we'll do a bonus round. We'll make it 4 altogether. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Okay. So deep breath in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Pause. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Pause. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Pause. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Pause. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Release. 2, pause. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Pause. 2, 3, 4. Last 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Pause. 2, 3, 4. Awesome, everybody. Thank you so much. So, one of the things about blockages that end up happening is they can be gestational. It could be something that had been passed on through mother to womb if mom had suffered some sort of trauma or some experience that had created something within you. So if you have an unknown fear or a phobia of something that you didn't even realize where it came from and nobody can explain it to you, sometimes it could have occurred through gestational. Something could have happened during that pregnancy. There's also, when I was saying environmental, being in that space environmentally, where are you with? What's going on in your home? What's going on with your job? All of those types of things can also create blockages for you. There is generational. There are sometimes things that you're carrying that aren't even yours. Anybody heard of, don't ever set your purse on the floor because then you're gonna lose all your money?
Yep.
Has anybody ever told you money is the root of all evil?
Yep.
Have you ever heard any of those other sayings?
Yep.
If you're not sure where they came from, or if you're not sure where they're rooted in, sometimes it's served a purpose in the past, or maybe in a past life, or something within generations where those were born. And so they sometimes have resonated, and if we don't challenge some of our old thought patterns or belief systems, and I'm not saying those were wrong, I was just using it as an example, because I don't know if any of you like to ever argue, but if someone's like, oh, money's the root of all evil, I might be the one time where there's people who have money where that's not occurred. So challenging our belief systems that are deep-rooted are often what we need to also shift when we might be having situations that might be occurring within us that is also a blockage. So it's just that general awareness of where does that come from? Where was that from? It could have literally been that it was a moment in time where somebody needed to survive something and that just stuck generationally. So there's generational things that happen to us as well. Ancestral, our ancestors, generational. So you ever hear people breaking the generational curse? That would also apply in these situations where there could be blockages that we might not even be cognizant or aware of, or we might not be thinking for them on a regular basis. So being able to be in a space where we can maintain, sustain, that's what we want to do. So if you're in a place in your life where you wanted to shift a needle, you wanted something to change in your life and it's just not happening, I'm going to tell you the worst thing, I'm going to tell you the most painful thing, is that the common denominator absolutely is you, but it doesn't mean it's your fault. Is that fair? It's not your fault, because some of these things are deep-rooted, and some of these things happen to us in ways that we couldn't control it. We didn't do anything wrong. And also, too, anybody ever wonder why toddlers are constantly saying no? It's their world, and we're just living in it. They're just creating themselves and figuring out what their own programming is going to look like, because we're raised, and before the age of 6, before pure consciousness evolves, where people can actually consciously think about right, wrong in a solid way, or understanding life and death in a solid way, we look at the age span. Being in a space where, even as teenagers, anybody talk about rebellious teenagers or defiance? Well, we as parents or caregivers or whoever we are to children in our lives, or the children around us, they are getting programming that came from us. So they're getting all of the things, whether it's something that worked through survival ages and times before or not, all of those things came from us, okay? So as we develop a consciousness, as we develop things and we want to understand our own programming, that's where you get this resistance that comes in. And that's where you sometimes you're telling me to do what? I don't believe that, I don't agree with it. And that's why when we become young adults, sometimes people will ignore their intuition, sometimes people will ignore their ability to be able to create the life that they want to have, because they are living through somebody else's programming that they don't even realize is there. And as we're developing through our age, and it doesn't matter what age you are, just having that awareness that it's there, that's going to be those things to just know that's going to put you on the trajectory of creating the life that you want. So if we think about blockages and stuff, that's where a lot of them are born from. So when we become an adult, we want to have it our way. But if we were raised in situations where people weren't there listening to us, I will give myself as an example. My 26-year-old, when she would come home and tell me that something was painful or bothering her, I wanted to know who did it and how could I fix it. So I didn't create opportunities for her. And I didn't learn this till years later. We talked about it when she was a teenager, but I would try to take that pain from her, and I didn't want her to experience pain because I remember what that was like for myself. But unfortunately, what that taught her was that she wasn't able to have heavy feelings, strong feelings, and me just sit beside her while she was going through it so she could learn what that pain was like, and knowing that it was safe for her to use her own intuition to kind of help that along. Can anybody relate to having those situations where maybe you didn't trust your intuition, or you don't trust it now because you were not taught to do that? Or you knew something was not right and you ignored it, hoping that you could love it out of somebody else, that you could be that person to fix it, when we really have to be the ones to do it ourselves? This might sound like some painful things to say, but I'm here to tell you that, and when we get to that part where we're going to do the challenge or the 30 days, if you do it and you really commit to yourself in that, I promise you, you will see a shift and change for anything that you want to try to change in yourselves. So with that all being said, if you've been in a situation where there's barriers, what do you think those barriers might have been, I probably gave an answer to some of that for some of you, but if you've ever wanted to do something in your life, if you've ever wanted to have this certain type of job, if you ever wanted your bank account to have a certain amount of numbers in there, or if you wanted to ever experience something in your life, what has held you back? Does anybody want to share?
Being female.
Being female, okay.
Self-doubt.
Self-doubt, yes. What else?
Fear is the big one for all of us.
Absolutely, absolutely. Anything else? Those are excellent.
And not,
Hmm?
not feeling. Not feeling good enough.
Not feeling, yes, not feeling good enough.
Say, worthiness.
Those are all, no, these are great ones because these are all things that end up being part of the energetic blocks that keep us from where we want to be. But what we don't realize is that that's subconscious programming that's locked in there, and that's not the truth. The truth is you choosing every day to do something different. Even if it's 1% is going to shift that needle, I assure you of that. I've lived that also within myself. But those are absolutely the barriers. A lot of people, when they don't feel good enough, or if they feel like that self-worth, that self-doubt, that fear, that's the version of you that, it's your brain. So basically, I'll bring a little psychology into it. That your subconscious drives, are you the driver or are you the passenger in your own life? It's kind of what it boils down to. And again, this is not meant to hurt for me to tell you this, but I will tell you, if you put effort into yourself, this is going to be the most painful types of things that you'll ever do in your life, but once you do that and shift it, you'll never feel that pain ever again. And so it's hard for people, and sometimes doing energy work or energy clearing, it takes a few times for that stuff to work, but if you put stuff into it every day for yourself, I guarantee it'll shift, and that subconscious programming, you can release the things that aren't yours. You can release some of those things that's not your fault. Does this help explain why some of these things might have been helping in your life, or why there might be some reasons why that some things aren't happening for you the way that you want them to? Because we are all our best healers, and we are all creators. And that if any of you talk about manifestation or laws of attraction, things like that, this all falls in line with all of those things as well. Okay, so how has anybody ever heard of the term rotten roots bear rotten fruits?
I didn't hear the second word.
Rotten roots bear rotten fruits.
Rotten roots.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, I had a sinus thing a couple weeks ago that I was trying to get through. It's been a couple weeks now. So basically, us being our creators, us being in charge of our lives, knowing that what we plant within ourselves, how we tackle our subconscious, any command that is I am is going to drive what's happening in your lives. And what happens is, over a period of time, when we've been the passenger and our brain that stores every memory, it stores every single experience that we've had, that is what your programming is, what you're currently living with. And so whenever we have a stimuli or an event that comes up in our lives, their subconscious mind is going to take whatever information comes in, and it's trying to determine, am I safe? And are we going to survive this? And so how does this tie with what I was saying earlier, the version of you that's waiting for you? Well, that version of you that's waiting for you, a lot of times what holds us back is that fear. And that fear, your brain is like, don't change, we're doing something different, are we going to die? That is what your subconscious programming is doing. It's trying to decide, are we going to survive this? Are we going to be okay? It wants you to continue to be doubtful. It wants you to continue to feel not being good enough. It wants you to continue having these abundance blockages because it knows it's already going to survive it. Does that make sense?
Say it again.
Yes, sir. Which part? All of it? No.
Shortly after, hi, I'm Jennifer.
Sorry, you talk really fast.
Just kind of that last little bit.
Okay, so basically, right, all of the programming that we received in our lives served a purpose. And our brain learned to keep us in that thought process and has kept us till today, right, that's the key, in that space because it knows we've already survived it. Our brain does not know good from bad, so it doesn't know better, it just doesn't. And our subconscious, where everything has lived, everything that we've experienced, every smell, everything is stored in our subconscious. So when we have an event or an experience or something else, our brain is constantly scanning to find out, is this a threat? Are we going to live? Are you changing something? Because if you are we going to die? And so your brain's kind of locked into that to figure it out. And so that's why 30, 60, 90-day programs, that's why they do that, because your brain does something every month. It's called scanning, and it'll scan for new patterns. It'll start clipping like your toenails, all of the activities within your brain, all of the neural functioning and wiring. It'll clip it every single 30 days to get rid of the things that you don't need anymore and to grow the ones that you do. So if you consciously are aware of making those changes and you're aware of what your subconscious is doing, then that's how change happens. And then 30, 60, 90, it starts getting locked in and your brain knows that it's going to be safe. So that fear, that insecurity, those self-worth things have served a purpose, and it's time for you to choose to let them go, and you can. It's just knowing that that's what's happening on a subconscious level. And when you say, I am, and if you say, I am dumb, your brain's like, hold my beer. I'll show you what dumb is, and it's going to look for everything in your day to prove to you that you're dumb, because that's what we told it it's going to do. That's how powerful our minds are when it comes down to just everyday things, and how powerful our minds are in manifestation and creating change. We just have to remember that we are the ones that are driving. We are not the passengers in our own lives. That's a big one. Oh, sorry.
I put on motion.
Oh, okay, no worries.
That was great.
So, I was like, good.
So it's also what you're saying, that you're kind of unconscious of saying that drives those barriers.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Repeat
I am.
what she said again.
So, do you want to repeat?
Oh, I see.
Well, into the
It's what
microphone.
you're thinking. Oh, go ahead.
So what you're thinking basically is what's driving things that are happening within your life.
And you're not aware that you're
And
really,
you're, and it's a
such a
subconscious.
pattern
Yes.
that you're not aware you're saying the same thing over and
Yes.
over and over and over.
And I just wanted to kind of reaffirm that the words I am is a command system for your brain. It's a computer operating system. And a lot of us just need an upgrade. We need to defragment the software. And the way that we do that is by consciously practicing it. And again, it does not have to be substantial and huge. It could be 1% every day of just knowing, you showing up today, your higher self that already figured this out has chosen for you. And you're already on that trajectory. So I just want to just say kudos to you, because your choice to be here, whether it was conscious or you were drugged in here by somebody else and this is why you're here today, you already took those steps. You're already doing it, and your higher version of yourself that's already figured this out has come to visit you. And so, I just want to make sure I'm doing good use of time. I actually want to do an exercise, if you're open to it, of helping you to be able to tap into your higher self. And it's kind of a meditation, it's like a guided meditation, but I would like to be able to take you there so you can experience the feeling of what things are like when the version of you has already figured everything out, and how you can be in that space to tap into it today to continue to grow that energetic container of you.
Let's
And
go.
You ready? All right,
Let's do it.
let's do this. Okay, so everybody, however it is it looks like for you to get in a meditative state, or if it's prayer, relax, get as comfortable as you want to be. You can close your eyes, you can stare at the floor in front of you, you can stare at the wall, whatever makes you most happy. But what we're gonna do is, I'm gonna take you on a little journey, and I just want you to focus on your breathing and meditation stuff as well. Sometimes thoughts come up during this process. It's very, very normal, and that's so that you can clear those out to make space for everything else. So taking a couple deep breaths in, releasing. Excellent. Now what I want you to do is that I want you to imagine looking at yourself, being in your space, and realizing you are the creator of your life. We're gonna go on a journey. We're gonna go, as you're taking a deep breath, we're gonna go step onto a train. Keep your breath steady. We're all getting on a train and we're going for a ride. And this train doesn't just go around Anchorage. This train is gonna go up through the sky. This train is a safe train. This train has magic. It can go wherever it is that we want it to go. So as you go into this train, we're gonna be going up into the air, through the clouds. We're going to continue on this journey. We're going to go up into space. We're going to continue to go up and up and up as high as you can imagine going as you're breathing in and out. We're all together working on some things, being in a space where we know that there's higher beings there, where we know our higher self is waiting for us, that's figured everything out, that's there to greet us. Now as this train goes up into the sky, into space, and you're elevating higher and higher and higher, I want you to imagine about what it is that you actually want. What do you seek in your life right now? What do you need right now? What do you want right now? We're manifesting all the time, so let's create some consciousness within that. Now, the train is going to pull up to a stop. And when we reach that stop, you're going to get out. And when you step off that train, there is bright white light. It is bright light. It doesn't hurt. It feels wonderful. It feels beautiful. We're now in a space where there's white light all around us. And then each of us are going to step into a room, and we're all in our individual rooms. And in that room is the version of yourself that has absolutely figured this all out. They're there to greet you with open arms, to hug you, embrace you, to tell you, welcome. I'm glad that you're here. You made it. And they're there. They might be there looking at you. They might be there to look a certain way. They might hand you something. And if they hand you something, go ahead and take it. If they're there to present you with something else, maybe it's knowledge. Maybe it's a download. Maybe they're there to just give you some grace, to just tell you I'm here with you all the time. I want you to think about what that feels like. What would it feel like to have everything you absolutely want? What would it feel like to be in a space where you've created it all? What do you think your higher self would want to tell you? If there's a version of you that has it all, what would your higher self tell you? What messages do they bring? It's there for love. Just take a moment and take a few deep breaths and think about how you're feeling. Think about any questions that you might have for your higher self. Think about the warmth, the light, the embrace. Who's there? Where are you in this room with this version of yourself that figured it out? Does it involve money? Does it involve relationships that you're going to be in? Does it involve being able to receive love better? Does it involve you being in a space where you are good enough, where you're getting cheered on by your guides, angels, whatever it is that resonates with you? Your team is waiting for you, and more start to show up. More things start to tap in, and everybody's there waiting for you. Now, take a couple more deep breaths in a moment to enjoy this experience. Bask in it, and remember how you feel right now. A couple more breaths. Now, I want you to look at your higher self, and I want to see if you feel like giving a hug, absolutely give a hug. If you feel like pulling your higher self gently, or if they're pulling you gently together, bring yourselves together. You are one. You are the same. You are connected. Your higher self is your intuition. All of the times that you're thinking in your life, I should probably do this. That was your higher self nudging you to listen. Every time your intuition gave you the chills or a visceral reaction, that was your higher self wanting to give you a download and information for what you need to create the future of yourself. And they are always going to be with you, beside you, helping you. You're never alone. You will never be alone. Your higher self is always going to be there for you. So, with that all being said, you can say whatever you like. If you received something, absolutely, please take it. Enjoy it. Because now, it's time for us to get back onto that train, to be able to take whatever information that you've gotten from it, to say, see you later, or I hear you now, we are connected. Get back onto that train. We're coming back now. That train's coming down back through the highest parts of ourselves, down back into the atmosphere, down back into Anchorage, down back into our space and ourselves. And when you're ready, if you want to take a few breaths, we're back here again. You can open your eyes. Just take a moment, take your time. How you doing? Anybody have any experiences or notice anything that you'd like to share?
I can share.
Okay.
My grandmother had an issue with being female, and I inherited it. It's not mine, it's hers, but I've taken it on.
Yes, yes. I got confirmation on that, absolutely. That's a good one to work on.
Just because this reminds me of going up to Mount Washington and I think it's New Hampshire. Yeah, they got that cool train that goes up there.
Oh,
And
is
they
that
ride
what you
so
got
much
to
of
ride
that,
on?
And I took a chauffeured ride up with my wife up there instead. But I wish I had taken that train because it's so cool. If you go there, make sure you take the trains.
Very cool, very cool.
But it's very similar to what you're describing.
like it, though. That's beautiful.
It sounds like that fit.
It's a
And
journey.
that's what I pictured, like going up and beyond.
Wonderful. That's your,
Yeah, I liked the, either I pulled my higher self in or they pull me in. That felt really nice and nourishing. And so when you were like, say thank you, I was like, well, that's me talking to myself. It just felt really integrated. That was really beautiful. Thank you.
wonderful, wonderful. Anybody else?
Did you want to share?
No,
Oh, I thought.
just to kind of lead us.
I've been working on a presentation I'm giving on Saturday or Friday, and I've been thinking of two sides of a mountain, that there's two ways of doing things, and we're really just climbing up the mountain. So my train started to it's Mount Olympus on one side and Mount Kailash on the other, and it's east meeting west. And I was like circling and climbing the train, and then at the end, I don't remember exactly what you said, but all of the people here, bring them here together, or they're all here with you now together, or something like that. It was just, I zoomed into my Friday presentation, and I'm just like, there were a couple of pieces missing. I'm excited to see if they may have found the place.
Sounds like you got a download.
Nice.
Could be, yeah.
Sounds like a download. That's wonderful.
Felt like that.
Oh, I love that. I love it, love it. Yes.
I had kind of a nice experience. I saw my higher self like myself, and I knew her, and we laughed, and I just saw this big, I saw us coming together, this big black and white, and then when I got on the train, I didn't feel any separation.
Beautiful.
And I heard things are aligning, they were good.
Amazing. Oh, I love that so much for you. I really do. The things that hold us back, and when I said the intuition, I really do believe that every time we've been nudged to make a decision, we don't make it. That's our programming that's doing that. We're constantly getting nudged. And then setting an intention could be, I'm open to receiving the information that I need to be able to make the decision. And also with intuition, people say all the time, my intuition's wrong or it's not right. Intuition is an opportunity for there to be information given to you. It's up to you to take that information and explore what's going on, because again, your brain's going to give you information that's going to be maybe not in alignment with those things. So intuition is information. It's a feedback for you, a nudge, and it's opportunity for you to explore what it is that you can take from that to kind of help you along. It doesn't necessarily mean that's the final answer. It just is a nudge to pay attention. Yes.
Well, because stuff's changing so fast. Stuff's changing. You get
Absolutely.
a download and then it's like, it's no longer relevant 20 minutes later. Because
Yeah.
stuff is, it's just we're living in a whirlwind right now.
Yes.
So you have to be careful.
Absolutely. You're going to see something?
No.
Okay. it's just a big old pay attention, please, because I've got something for you. So just that's part of the stuff with intuition. So getting back to some of the other things as well, I highly encourage you to just look for opportunities where if your intuition's calling, that you don't put it off, that you are ready to receive that, and that you listen to it. And also too, I'll say this for the 30-day piece, because I think that's going to be kind of tying in, it's really important. But when I was saying earlier, rotten roots bear rotten fruits, what you said, and a rotten again, what had occurred, what your experience was with the generational or ancestral about being female, that is a deep-rooted belief system, and belief systems is what drive our thoughts and feelings. And when we have consciousness of it and we want to work on it, it sounds like that's the work that's being called to be done at this moment in time. And that might be one of the blockages that's coming forth for you because you're ready to do it now. You're ready for it. And so a lot of times it's how these come. So when it comes down to it, so the roots are kind of like our core belief system. It's kind of like this is the stuff that's deep rooted, things that again, that might not even be yours, and the fact that you recognize that, and I didn't even have to say it, that's beautiful. And then the branches are basically your thoughts and feelings and all of the things that you've grown into as a foundation of this system, this mechanism, and this programming that we've received, okay? Now, the fruits, so if you're not getting the things that you want in your life, and if you're not progressing in the way that you want to, it's usually the fruits. So just check it. I just ask that you check the roots. And if it's something that has been a long-standing thing for years and years and years that you've had a hard time shifting or changing, go back to where's the root. You want to try to find the root. Because if we don't do the root of what's happening, then we're not going to be able to change that fully. And that's a way for you to be more conscious of kind of like what's going on with those. And usually it's a limiting belief system that's kind of coming from. Okay, so to get to the 10 blockages, things that are blocking your success. Oh, yes.
I have a question about.
Absolutely.
So what is your thoughts on, like, I think a lot of my blocks have been from past lifetimes, that
Mhm.
you know, you repeat and how you, and so, and the soul contracts.
Mhm.
Speak to that a little bit of how.
How that can, like, how does that work, or how can that be a blockage maybe? Yeah, no, absolutely. So again, when we're dealing with environmental, generational, gestational, those types of blockages, some of them, again, they served a purpose at some point in time. So when they kind of come up and they bring up and they're repetitive, like you keep on learning the same lessons all the time, that might be the clue that this is something that it's your turn to break that. That this is something that's deep-seated, that to bring that awareness and consciousness of it. And doing the exercise that I'm going to tell you about doing will kind of help to kind of bring awareness to that. So a lot of it's bringing awareness to it, and a lot of it's remembering what your purpose is here. What your purpose is to remember what you're supposed to do. And oftentimes these blockages get in our way because our brain's doing it, that stops us from being our true authentic selves. So doing energy clearing, doing practice work, I use sacred geometry, so basically if you think about our DNA spirals, if you think about vortexes or pyramids or spheres, they all have specific purposes in healing. So using combinations of those is how I do those things. So I was trained to be able to use the different things and to see the design in life, leaves, structures, clouds. And another big part of it is looking for opportunities always to confirm what it is that I'm seeking out. So for example, I think one of the very first things that I was faced with, because I was trying to, and again, I have whatever your belief system religiously or anything else is yours. And nobody has a right to tell you what's right, wrong, or indifferent. It is your choice to use whatever it is that helps to energize you, right? So I was struggling a lot when I was learning about these things, and then when the person that taught me this told me whatever your belief system, if it's God, the universe, Gaia, whatever, use that. So I started asking God, like, help me, am I doing the right thing? Is everything okay? Am I doing something I'm not supposed to be doing? Like when I started learning about energy work, and I had a knock on my door. And you want to know what's very interesting? And again, I'm open, I love all people. It was Jehovah's Witness, right in that moment. And I was like, wow, I really want to talk to you, but I don't want to talk to you right now because I'm going to actually go to the fair today. So I said, thank you for stopping by, and usually I have like a conversation, so I went to the fair. And I'm walking through the fair, and there's people standing behind me talking about church and things like that. I'm like, oh, this is fascinating. This is very interesting. So I'm like sitting there and I turn around and I told myself I'm gonna go to the fair today. I'm gonna give compliments to everybody, as many people as I can see, because I wanna learn opening up, giving love without having to receive it and not having an expectation. Because that's another thing too that I had a blockage with, is these expectations in life. So I'm about to leave the fair and this teenager comes up and says, would you fill out a survey for me? I said, absolutely. So I go to fill out the survey and it's an actual pastor of a church. I was really, I'm not gonna lie, I was angry about it because I'm like, why are you using teenagers to try to draw? It was just me being judgmental. I admit that. But I was upset because I said, why didn't you just come out and talk to me yourself? I would have still done the survey. So we had a great conversation. It was very passionate, very heated because he was quizzing me on things and we didn't agree on it. And, but at the same time too, I'm like, we could sit there still and have this conversation, and I loved it. But what I got from that was that not judging, being open and understanding there's so many different belief systems out there, and embracing everybody as is and putting myself out there and as is as I am to everybody else, I got all the confirmation that I needed. I wrote it down. I've been missing the birds lately, so I put a bunch of bird seed out and I put some peanuts out because the magpies love to just squawk and let me know that they're around and the little birds are around. And crazy enough, and again, it could be total coincidence, but I opened my mailbox and I found a peanut in it the other day. And I know that I didn't do it. And I'm like, maybe my mailman, decided that they were hungry for peanuts and they just happened to, had one in their sleeve or something. And then my daughter's like, well, I'm sure they don't handle mail with peanuts because of allergies and stuff. And so I thought maybe, it was just this little tiny little peanut. And I'm like, oh, the birds want more peanuts. Okay, got you. So the other part of this as you're going on your journey and as you're gonna be doing this challenge is to just be looking for opportunities for validity in what you want. Don't be afraid, be ready to receive. And look for signs. We think about them all the time, we may not be cognizant of them. And another thing, when I was going on a walk, something about, when I got initially into training, said something about a dime had value and some capacity with energy. So I'm walking, I live in Raspberry Kincaid Park area, and guess what I found on the ground? And I kept it. I did. So look for opportunities to concur with the things that you want. And let me just ask you one more thing. Did anybody figure out what it is that you actually do want? Do you remember what it felt like to be up there? What the feeling was?
Unconditional love.
Beautiful, beautiful. What else?
Ease.
What was it?
Ease.
Ease. Yes, love it.
Freedom.
Hmm?
Freedom.
Beautiful. Anything else? This is amazing. Acceptance. Okay. Guess what if I told you it's not the thing that you want, it's the feeling that it provides for you that you seek. And if you live in that vibration and frequency through taking care of yourself, through doing this exercise I'm going to tell you about, after I tell you the blockages real quick, then you're going to achieve those things. So you want to try to live in the vibration frequency through self-care, listening to music, looking for opportunities, just being and doing the best you can to not have expectations. Don't put limitations on yourself if you can, or draw awareness to them if that is happening. No judgment. Do not judge yourself. You're exactly where you need to be. So no matter how old we are, what we've gone through in our lives, you're exactly where you need to be in this life right now in this time. Exactly where you need to be. Okay? So, blockages, right? Past-based thinking. We find an excuse not to do something. Sometimes there's fear. And if this resonates, it's not judgment on my part. I just wanted to bring awareness to what blockages could be. So sometimes we're like, I already tried it, don't want to do this, don't want to do that. And that's usually a blockage. So we end up spinning our wheels because our brain is like, well, why are you doing something different? Why are you trying to do that? You know what happened last time, Jimmy. Don't do that. There's worst case scenario thinking, always expecting bad things to happen. So therefore you don't have to do anything because you can live at that expectation that there's always going to be bad things that happens or, terrible outcomes. So that's what keeps us stuck from trying. There's worst case scenarios. There is the what ifs. The avoidance in that sometimes can be reassuring to our brains because it's there saying, okay, don't try, don't do it. You're going to be safe as it is. And you can't lose if you don't try, right? Then there's loss-based thinking that also comes with avoidance. And if I don't do it again, it's called activity paralysis. So it's basically like you're going to be stuck and not doing certain things. Sorry, I kind of repeated that one a little bit. There's certainty-based thinking. You have to know. So you won't try anything new unless you know that the outcome's going to be good. And so sometimes that can persist as playing the devil's advocate, prioritizing things that confirm the outcome or limitations of what it is that you're seeking to do. There's one day thinking. I will do this when X, Y, Z happens, when I graduate college, when I get out of this house, when I get that job that I really desire. So sometimes it prevents people from taking steps because there's the endless brainstorming phase. There's the pain-based thinking or the fear because it hurts to change. The reality of that is it absolutely is painful to change. Painful. Especially if there's deep-rooted things that are going on there that are driving that pain. And so therefore, there's some catastrophizing, there's the avoidance, there's frequent revisions, or you're putting conditions on it instead of just doing and choosing and being and allowing things to happen. That's very hard for a lot of people to do sometimes, and very easy for some. Focused on lack. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough time. These people need me. You're waiting for the perfect moments. You're waiting for the perfect conditions that never arise. That's another blockage. All or nothing thinking. Always, never. I must achieve perfection. Perfectionism, even though I admire perfectionism, I admire people that want to give a good product, but if we are waiting for always the perfect conditions, we also get stuck and we're spinning our wheels, and then it becomes overwhelming for some things, and we're missing opportunities in our lives to be able to do things that help us to be able to change. And then there's over-resilience on logic or overthinking. So we process it to the point that we are just exhausted, and then we literally don't have the energy to do what it is that we want to do to move forward. And then sometimes you need proof that it'll work. Excuse me, those types of things can happen as well. There is also the parrot-based thinking, which is basically, I already heard about that and that's just not going to work. Or you listen to what everybody else's idea and things are, even when it doesn't resonate with you, and you're screaming, your body's screaming on the inside, do it, do it, do it. But you heard other people telling you, oh, it's not going to work, or you listen to the noise, so to speak. So that could be one of those things that can be really difficult. So breaking old patterns. So with these blockages, if you practice what I'm about to tell you now, because we're at the part where I already talked a little bit about with the brain, just remember that your subconscious programming is all of the things in your entire life that you've experienced. It's time to release those things. And doing this 30 days is what I'm going to help you to be able to do if you're up for that. And if you don't do it, there's no judgment, but oh yes.
Can you just repeat the 10 things? Just
Oh yeah,
like
yep, just period. Yeah, absolutely. There's past-based thinking. Past-based thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Worst case scenario.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Loss-based thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Certainty-based thinking.
Mm-hmm.
One day thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Pain-based thinking. Focusing on lack. All or nothing. Over-resilience on logic. Parrot-based thinking. That's parrot-based thinking.
Parrots.
It's kind of like that concept of money's the root of all evil. It's kind of like that thing where you heard people just repeat it over and over again, and it becomes this thing that becomes a belief, where it could have just been that somebody didn't feel like doing something one day, hundreds of years ago, and it just kind of stuck. So just in that, developing that awareness, and again, question. So this is not, and so that'd be like the 10. But if you start questioning these things, and I'm gonna tell you, number one, ask yourself, if you're not sure what's going on with the blockages and something comes up for you, ask yourself, where's this coming from? Is it even mine?
Mm-hmm.
What do I need, and what do I want, and what am I willing to do about it? That's going to be really, really, really important. What am I willing to do about it? Okay? So, and again, we're not born this way. Yes.
Does that go along with like asking yourself, is this true?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes, beautiful. Is this true? Do I have any information to prove that it's true? And so, yes, absolutely. No, that's perfect. So being in a space of just kind of like developing all this awareness around those things are going to be the things that are going to be able to help you move forward. And also, I mean, as a mental health worker, a lot of this, even psychologically, is very, very paralleled. So it's not just energy work, it's an awareness. But I am going to tell you again, if there's not anything else, setting an intention, taking action. If you don't do anything else, setting an intention and taking an action. And what I want you to do, are you ready for what I'm ready to ask you to do for the next 30 days? Yes. I'm just so excited. I will tell you that I did mine for a year. So you can do 30 days if I just wanted to make it more simple for if this is your first time doing it. But if you want to, you can date it a year from now, okay? And those of you that have maybe heard people saying date something a year from now and seeing what changes, here's the magic, okay? I did it as a love letter. If you're uncomfortable with the word love, if you would like it to be gratitude. People express gratitude often, do they not? If people express gratitude every day, I love that for you. I love it that you do it daily, but we want you to express and practice gratitude in a year from now. I want you to be gracious for the things that you accomplished in the next year, or and again, I'll get off the year thing, but like 30 days. What in the next 30 days do you want? I'm going to tell you that there are no limitations. If you say in 30 days from now, you're gonna be in ballet dancing, and then put it in there, okay? There's no rules, there is no limitations. So you are going to date something from 30 days from now. If you really want to go for it, you can do a year from now. And the goal is going to be, what do you want? What do you seek? Is it a relationship change? Is it a belief system release? Is it a new persona? Is it somewhere you want to go? Do you want to change the amount of abundance in your life? It could be abundance with receiving love. It could be money. If you want them Benjamins up in your account, like, maybe you got a number in mind. And what I'm going to tell you is that the key is this. Really set some energy into doing this. Put time into this assignment, please. I highly, highly encourage it. And you're writing this love letter to yourself, and what it's going to say, number one, is what you want it to look like. Then what you're going to do is you're going to write a letter to yourself that you already got all of those things, like how proud you are of yourself, how amazing, what it feels like to have those things. You're going to write as if you're just talking to yourself, not other people. You're not writing it as if somebody picks it up and finds it. You're writing it only to you with pure unconditional love and the belief that you are proud of yourself, you're showing gratitude, and how beautiful it is. Mine was 4 pages long, and I never thought that I didn't know if I had it in me. And so I sat and put a lot of energy into it. I crossed it off. I rewrote it actually 3 times over time because I realized I wanted to, and there's no rules. You can absolutely do that, okay? So the other thing I'm gonna ask you to do is I want you to read it to yourself in the mirror, people. And the reason why is because, number one, sometimes there's blockages we don't even realize are there. And if we read it to ourselves in the mirror, you're loving yourself. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. You're loving yourself. You're telling yourself how proud you are of yourself. So if you've lived with feelings of not good enough, not feeling worthy, there are people that sometimes when this happens, you might get emotional about it. You might cry. That is okay. You might get angry. There's a lot of things that might happen. And the reason why this could be challenging to do that, please understand that any discomfort is actually shifting in movement and release. I want you to trust me on this if you can. And I just want you to know that sometimes some of the most difficult things that we do is creating that discomfort within ourselves, and that is normal shift patterns, okay? You can do this. I would love this for you. And if you've never thought about trying it before, again, if it's not every day, I'm not gonna be like, ugh, no. Do it what calls to you. And I really, 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 if you're able to give yourself that, the 30 days just to check in. If you want to go for the year, or if you decide in 30 days or something else, if you decide in 30 minutes you want to change it, go with that, okay? Discomfort is usually a shift. Did you ever see those memes where somebody's about to strike gold and they give up? Mm-hmm. That's normally the shift before the big shift, not the poop that we talked about earlier. We're talking about the little crystal poops because that's how people remember me from my table.
I'm sure half the room is wondering why you pointed to me.
I am. My little crystal poops on my table, so I was really tickled by that. If you remember me over poop, that's great because we need to do that anyway. And if everything's working, all systems on board, I love it. So if you give yourself that 30 days and you practice that, or get into a practice of it in some sort, maybe it's not, I just want you to give that a try. And I would like to come back here and I would like to hear your story about how it went. And also too, some people say be quiet about what you want and what you're doing. I am of the experience talking it out actually puts it out there. And it actually comes from within. It's also a release of the things that are getting in your way of doing that. So I'm a big fan of telling people. I know this community is a safe community because sometimes talking about these types of things with other people who are not in the space of understanding it in the same way, but talk about it. I talk to myself all the time, I ain't gonna lie, I talk to myself. And so reading a letter, I will tell you right now, my one dated from 10/23/25, I've had almost all of the things that have occurred on it that I asked for. And I'm still looking for the $1,237.37, and I'm trying to figure out where it fits in, but I've been able to kind of break it down into confirmation of numbers like 3, 7 do have meaning to me. So I'm like, maybe it's not money, maybe there's things in there that I just needed to see, but I'm not losing sight of that. So I was able to get a property that I was wanting to have happen. I got a lead job. I got a job in my work that I wanted to be the lead in because I thought it would be a good fit. I even got to a space where I was looking for some abundance, and I'm not trying to make this a political conversation, but I was one of the 15% in the civilian workforce that was able to get that raise that was promised, and I wasn't expecting it, and I thought I was gonna have a heart attack in the middle of the night that I got an extra paycheck that I wasn't expecting, and I was like, is this right? And I was like, it was amazing. So just knowing that being open, your heart opening to receive love, oftentimes, and I'm gonna tell you this with all of my heart, love does conquer all. I don't, if that sounds cliche or not, it really does conquer all. And so with that all being said, I did bring a little something for everybody if you want. I like rocks. So, and by the way, sorry, before I even get to that part, we're just about finished from the things that I wanted to do today. Questions for me. Sorry about that. Questions for me. I don't know if you'd set me up for the, the questions, sir. You're pretty good. Any questions about anything I said today? Yes?
Well, how did you start this journey?
Oh, that's great. So I spent a lot of my life being the passenger in my own life and letting life happen to me. I was in a lot of space where I had relationships that were unfulfilling. I felt like for a very long time that I was either cursed because I'd been abused as a child, so I thought that I was cursed in life. I thought that I was here to just have everybody else, that I'm here to just give to everybody and not receive. And so it was literally only a couple years ago, 7/25/23, I chose me. And that's when I finally realized that I'm a mental health therapist. I've been a therapist for a very long time. I've been a social worker for almost 30 years. And I am now realizing this for myself. So I thought it was always for everybody else and not me. And when I had gotten to the point where it was time for me, my tuition peaked itself and was like, hello, if you're not doing this, I'm gonna do it for you. And a relationship had ended that I was clinging to, thinking that this is my last chance for anything to work. And then I realized that that was not true. So when I had this, the mentor of the program that I'm doing, his name's Oliver Nino, it's not a secret. He's called the Spiritual Activator. So if you're curious about what geo love healing is, the program that I'm certified to teach in. And I'm not a trainer, but just the teaching energy work. It's geo love healing. His name's Oliver Nino. His wife's name is Mandy Morris. She's a manifestation expert. And so it's their programs that I learned all this through, and it started showing up on my feed. And I was like, what's going on here? And then they had a day event, and I was like, okay. And that's when I'm like, am I doing something wrong? Am I doing something with religion that's not okay? Like, I really had to question a lot of things in my life. And my mother's very religious, my daughter's very religious, but now it's opened up doors for us to have opportunities to talk. And we always go back to talking with the Bible and everything as well. And we all had it's actually grown my relationship with my mother and I, and also with my daughter as well. So for me, it was just stuff showing up in my life that I was ready for, and not being afraid to think, is there something there? And when I attended my first event, it was in April, I believe, of 2024, I think. I started doing other work, and then this one came in. This is the one that really resonated with me, and I've never looked back since. I was tired of just feeling bad and hurt.
You do this clinically with your patients?
Do I do what?
Do you do this work clinically?
So I still do my clinician work, but because I work for the government, I'm going to stick to the traditional role in which I'm in. However, when it comes down to blockages and limiting belief systems, that is psychology. So all the pieces of psychology and psychological terms that have to do with it in all, we all have a vibe. We all have energy. We're made of energy. Einstein said that. So Tesla, we are energy. So I can prove scientifically, and we all know that we're made of energy. So again, it's that personal space, so I'm able to put it in the lingo in that realm, but talking about it through an energy work experience, that's why I do these things after work here, and I have a couple more years of government service before I have this full-time in my life. So I've done my 18 years, I'd like to be able to do a couple more, but clinically, to an extent, if somebody brings up energy stuff to me, then, and they ask me questions, I will let them know. Or because Anchorage is a small town, my people see me all the time at different events, like the Blueberry Festival I'll be at this year, so people give me a chance to talk about it. My coworker invited me to talk to somewhere, so people know, but I also make sure that I do the job description that I was hired to do as well.
Do you do the energy work separate from that, like as
Yes.
a private, like a one-to-one? Or
Yep.
Okay.
So what I'm hoping will happen is that at some point in time, mid-time, if you're interested, if you let everybody know that if you want to let me, actually, I'm gonna pass on my cards. If you text me and say, I would like an energy healing, what I would like to do for the group, if you would like, I'm more than happy to do an energy healing for free for the group. And if I've never set up a Zoom call before, but I'm willing to do it. I will make that work, but if you're interested in that, I will set up a date and time. And then if you would like to be able to collectively do that, you could do it from your own home. You would be comfortable in your space, and I would do it. It takes about probably a half hour, 45 minutes, and you would make yourselves comfortable, and some people fall asleep. Some people sometimes get like, they just feel different. A lot of people feel pressure in their heart center, their heart chakra. So basically what I would be doing is I'm gonna give you an energetic clearing, and it's basically using them to clear chakras. And so it's a lot of energy healing has a lot to do with clearing the chakras and also helping to remove some of the blockages that you may not realize are there that I might be able to find for you on your behalf. And I don't do it. I use my higher power, and I'm gonna ask your higher power to step in and help me do that. I'm not doing any of it. I'm a conduit. Does that help out a little bit? It kind of describe how it works a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay, it's a lot of fun. I love it. And yes, sir.
I was just gonna ask, is it easier and more productive to do it on Zoom rather than, like in a personal space, like here in person, or?
I could do it here too.
Okay.
that
I
against-
think that would work better.
I'm not against that either.
Yeah.
I could definitely do that here as well. So if you would prefer that I did it on my follow-up, that maybe we did some shares about how the 30-day went, and then you would like me to actually do a healing here, I would love to do that for you.
Yeah, I think that would be so much better. I think.
Deal. Love it. I would love to, I would be honored.
Can we just take, how many people would be interested in like 2 weeks in person?
No, 4 weeks.
4 weeks.
Remember?
Oh, I think that's the next event. Yeah, I was gonna offer that, but then people want it face-to-face.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So
Yes.
when you were talking about the Zoom call, I was
I thought
assuming.
maybe doing that like a mid one, but then when you brought up that idea, it sounded like people maybe collectively want to do it here, and let's make that happen. I think that would be
I just think
absolutely
that would
wonderful.
be
Yeah,
better experience than
No,
would be on Zoom.
I think it's wonderful. I just ask if maybe just bring some water, or if you have like something that grounds you, like if it's salt or a piece of chocolate or something like that, to help you ground in that way as well. That would be amazing. And yeah, no, I absolutely, let's do that. That would be honored.
Okay, cool.
Any other questions or comments? Yes, sir.
I liked one of the things that you said, it's not the goal, it's not the object that we're really seeking, it's the
Yes.
feeling that we're gonna get from
Yes.
getting the object. So
Yes.
I was wondering, when we write our letter
Mhm.
to ourselves,
Mhm.
is it helpful to be in that energy, just to imagine that we're 90 days out in the future
Mhm.
and everything has already happened?
Mhm.
And now we're writing the letter about the journey that we've taken over the last 90 days.
Yeah, so if you would like to get yourself in a meditative space as you're writing it, or if you're really not sure what that might feel like, I just want you to write something down that's going to, and try to get in that space. If you're not there yet, that's totally okay, because reading that letter to yourself every day in the mirror is going to create that space. What it's going to do, it's going to elevate your energetic, it's going to raise your frequency, it's going to raise your vibration. And if you're looking for synchronicities, I highly recommend having a notebook that you write in. If you have a dream, if there's a song that shows up, if you find a dime, no, I'm sure, but like if you find something, if you smell something, if there's something that comes up, those are all the things that I'm talking about when sometimes we have missed opportunities, that there's things that come up when we least expect it. Write it all down. Everything that you write down is your blueprint from now on. So number one, write your letter. Read it to yourself every day. It doesn't have to be at the same time. It can be whatever you do, just do it. But I want you to look for opportunities, signs, and synchronicities that validate what you're doing, because they will start to show up if you That's birds.
Yeah, hold on a second.
That's me.
Yeah, just focus.
It'll help to validate what you're doing. And if you say I'm open to receiving these things, they are absolutely, I assure you, going to show up. And sometimes we just miss them because we're not looking for them. But if you're just open to receiving them, and also too, if you don't feel anything in something, you feel like something's not happening, sometimes it takes energy for things to show up. And if it's deep rooted, something that's generational or ancestral, sometimes it's gonna take a little bit more energy to move it. It might take a certain form of energy to move those things, so just be patient with yourself if you can. Don't judge. I want you to not judge, my expectations, the love. So essentially, do it in the space that you need to do it, try it out. If you need to adjust it because things change or an idea comes in, those synchronicities, those little notes with like your thoughts, music, anything that shows up, that's your clues to let you know what you need to do next. And that's the higher version of yourself coming in to show you the way. And the most beautiful thing of all that I think, actually, and what really keeps me still doing this is that it's fun. Manifestation is fun. We're manifesting all the time. We just may be counter-manifesting the things that we want because of the blockages that we don't even realize that we might be having. But when you write it down and you write down what happened on day one, like maybe if you write down today a little note about how your experience was today to yourself, if you look back at it in 30 days from now, you might be surprised at what is different about how you think, how you approach things, and what you might be feeling. And I don't want to spoil any surprises, but definitely I can assure you that if you do this, something will be different for you. Even something will be different for you. Okay?
Yes.
So any thoughts? Any thoughts, feelings on this? Yes.
So your consciousness doesn't know what's in your subconscious, correct?
So your subconscious is driving your thoughts, your behaviors, and your action. So it's
But
kind
you're
of
not you're not consciously aware of it, though.
we're normally not, and that's what we want to develop.
Yeah.
So if we think about it, when we are 26 years old, our neocortex is fully developed, and our subconscious is our amygdala or reptilian brain, but our limbic system gets in the way, which is all where our emotions live. So all of this stuff that comes here, we're developing our consciousness. If that helps out a little bit, it's there. This is where all the logic and reasoning is in the front of our brain. This is where this is all what we came to be. But what people don't realize is that you control this. You design it, you develop it, you create it, but people are stuck with the reptilian brain because somebody taught them that you don't have a voice, and you don't get to create, you don't get to heal. And so we're trying to break some generational blocks, or if we have family members that maybe try to tell us what to do all the time, or if we have people that are close to us that try to say that's never going to work, or those types of things, that feeds the subconscious belief system, and it's time to break and release that. And what happens sometimes too, in this process, the people around us sometimes, we don't ever lose people, we release them from our energetic space. We release them. They release us. And without judgment or expectation, that's not a bad thing. It helps to open us up for what's for us and what's to come. And the more we're able to come in and receive, the more that information will come for you. So we want to develop this. It's kind of like a chiropractic adjustment. People will do like the spine work, right? And have everything aligned. We want your intuitive self and being. And the subconscious is great because it's got all the information there, but we want to get rid of the stuff that we don't need anymore that's been holding us back to make space for the new, so we can move it back into alignment. So that our souls, if you believe you have a soul in your spirit, can align with your physical body, which is the thing that houses us that gets in our way a lot of the time. So when we can align them consciously, we can create and be aware of our subconscious, but then we make it conscious. The only thing that I can tell you that when it comes down to painful memories is that we can never completely eliminate them. We can eliminate the intensity level that they bring to the emotional awareness within ourselves by practicing.
How specific in detail are you getting in this letter as far as?
For me personally,
Sure.
I am a detailed person. I'm
Yeah,
putting
me
everything.
too.
Everything. Do it. Do as much as you want.
Even
whatever
if
you're
that's
called
not
to.
how it's going to manifest?
Mhm.
Even if that's not how it's going to manifest?
So, and that's the beauty of some things too. It could, but
It could.
It could, but at the same time too, if you're putting down there what that is, something else or an opportunity might open up for it. Or at some point in time, if it doesn't happen right away, it could mean the divine timing of things is just a little bit different for that specific thing, but it doesn't mean it's a no. There's no blackboard in the sky that's a no. It's just a matter of the
Right.
divine timing
Right.
of when that happens. yeah, but you can be specific as you want. I was, but then I changed some things when I realized that wasn't what I thought. And I'm like, oh, now I want this. So it opened up a whole lot of things for me that were changed over time.
Well, like how it's gonna happen, specific about how it's, the result
So-
can be the same, but
I mean, for sure. So for me personally, I thought that I wanted to be a manager, and I don't. I just want to be a lead. I don't want to be the manager. I just want to get through the next 2 years being able to make decisions that influence other people, but I don't want to run that program in that way because I realized what it was, and I'm like, 2 years, nah. That's not.
were you
not what I want.
specific about how the $1,237.15?
It was $1,237,000.
Oh, 237,000. Got
For
it.
whatever reason, I woke up one day and that number was stuck in my head, and I still don't know what it means. And what I was able to kind of figure out from now is that it's actually like, because God numbers, like 7 3s, I was able to piecemeal that, and that it's confirmation I'm on the right path, and maybe it's not money. So I had to rethink what is going on there for that, and so I started thinking about it in a different way. But now I see these numbers all the time, but that one number is still stuck with me this entire time, and
Were
I'm
you
not sure.
specific about how that money was gonna show up in your account?
I started to try to visualize my bank account just going up in those numbers. I think
Okay.
about Jim Carrey.
But in the letter, you did, yeah, he
It's-
wrote himself the $1 million check and
Yes.
he got it, but.
You know what I'm saying?
but-
So it
But
might
did you say, I'm gonna, rob an armored truck or?
Oh, yeah.
Or, my aunt's gonna, or some lost relative's gonna leave it to me.
I mean,
or
you never know.
I'm gonna win the lottery or.
So for me, like if it was, I did look at the lottery to see if it was around that amount or any. I was looking at different things, and then I realized too, it might take that many filaments of energy for me to shift what it is that's blocking me as well. So I started doing the overthinking bit, and I
But
was
were
like,
you thankful saying, I thank you for winning the lottery, or thank for just having the money?
Oh, I just said thank you for whatever this number is supposed to, I had to change it.
Got
I
it.
changed it was thank you for bringing this to my attention. I am very excited to find out what this means for me.
Got
So I
it.
kind of just changed that thinking around that instead of defining what that is for me, because it could mean different things.
Yeah, I have a friend that we did a visualization in my coaching program. It's kind of the same thing, and it's just like you talk about like, oh my gosh, I can't believe like how beautiful my life is. I wake up in the morning, I slept so well, like bringing all the senses in. And she had at some point visualized like I need $16,500. And she's like, you guys, it came to me, but it came in a credit card offer or something. So you kind of do have to be because it is, right? Universe is like, here you go, but she's like, oh, I should have been more specific. I want to be making,
Like you were saying.
$5,000 months or $7,000 months, or I'm consistently like, I can't believe I get to do what I love and I'm making $10,000 a month consistently. So it's like, you can bring in all the senses. And she had also gotten some other money, like $6,000. She got, and it was like a tax return. It was like the exact amount, or so it's like money comes to you in these different ways.
Yes.
And the more specific you are, it can be helpful.
Yes.
And make it at least like, I would say 80%.
And for me in this situation,
Believable.
I asked for abundance and the number showed up to me. I didn't create the number out of the blue, it came up to me. So I'm still trying to figure out what it is, but and so that's the part
So you
where,
didn't write, in this letter you wrote, you weren't saying I'm thankful for $1,237,000.
No.
Got it.
I just said abundance, but then again, I realized abundance could be abundance of love, it could be abundance of luck, it could be abundance of my bank account, and I wasn't specific.
Yeah.
So now that I wrote it down, please help me to understand what these numbers mean.
Got
And then
it.
that's when I was like, oh, maybe they're God numbers to let me know that I'm on the right track for whatever it is.
Or a
So,
date, could be a date,
I mean, it could be.
December 37th, or no, December
Exactly.
23rd.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Could be likes on your Facebook post.
It really could be any of those things. So for me, I asked for abundance and how proud I was for being able to financially be more stable and stuff. And then all of a sudden one day, and it's still in my head, I have no idea like what's going on, but I'm like, I'm ready, I'm excited to hear about what this is. It was funny, when I was trying to manifest abundance, my daughter got a check, for not that amount of money, but it was just really funny because as you start healing and as you start doing this also, the people around you will change as well, and it affects them and you don't even realize that it does. And so when you're raising your vibration, your frequency, and you're living in it, other people benefit from that as well, even if they're not trying to. It just kind of happens. So people oftentimes will try to manifest or try to change other people, and we just can't change that free will. People have to want to do it themselves, but by doing this, it'll also help, it'll interfere with other people around you, and they'll start to notice it. I've had people tell me now that I'm such a different person, and you were to ask me a couple years ago, would I ever thought that I would be in this world doing this like this? Never would have thought in a million years. Never, ever, ever. But I'm grateful for it. And speaking even, it was part of my letter. So, and that first was Cindy, Miss Cindy, who had brought me into the Whole Life Festival. And I missed it last year because of I was in Homer for the Renaissance Fair selling rocks. But, and then I missed it, and then it came up again, and I'm like, opportunity arose, go for it and do it. So looking for opportunity creates other opportunities. And so not having that fear.
So your intuition
Yes.
is not really a thought process, it's more of a feeling. So when you said, essentially, source can, you hear a song or you hear something,
Yep.
that can affect one's intuition. You're not using your mind.
So for me, how it works for me, if this helps answer that a little bit, is that I will get a nudge, I'll get a feeling to do something. And it could be not a good feeling, it could be a great feeling, and then I'm like, okay, this is information, because I used to say my intuition sucks. Sorry, not good, it stinks.
That's okay.
I used to say my intuition is wrong, and then I realized it's not what intuition is. Intuition is information for me to pay attention to, but I look and I say I'm ready to receive any signs or synchronicities that validate what it is that I'm trying to do. But my thought would be, Jen, don't do it then. Don't do it. Like, my gut feeling, my brain is wanting to tell me don't do it. But every part of me that's over here in the new version of myself that I was afraid of says, absolutely freaking do it, Jennifer. Like, you're on the right path in doing that, and not be cognizant of what my brain is telling me and not my gut. So my gut's basically going to be like when you ever get like a kick in your stomach and you know someone's lying or something, that's kind of like the gut stuff. But it's when my reaction to that gut feeling is my brain. And then there's my action that's going to be, what am I going to do about that part of it?
I'm just going to share this because
No.
you've touched on it and it's bouncing in my head.
Yes,
So
sir.
I just read this book and it's been out for like 10 years, but I just got it Friday. It's called The 5-Second Rule. And have you read it? Okay, so basically when you get intuition, count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then take action on it. And the way I know that it's intuition, because if I don't take action on it, my brain starts thinking and giving me logical reasons why it won't. So that's an indication of what intuition is when the brain's like, well, this is they close at 4 o'clock, don't go. But then you get there at 4:12 and you find out that, well, they had something happen and they're still there. So, that kind of thing. So
There you go.
Anyway.
There you go.
The way I started to try to differentiate between like intuition and like thoughts is like intuition feels like expansive, and like my thoughts, if it's the mind, I'll
Right.
feel like constriction in the body.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel good in the body. And then also differentiating between like fear and caution, because fear is like the brain going like, don't do that, you're gonna die. But caution or precaution is like being aware of like, not like don't go because you're gonna meet new people and it's gonna be scary. It's like caution says it just no 3 feet, like maybe not, So like just knowing the difference of what is actually a
feels.
threat versus the lizard brain.
I like that. Great, yes.
I really like the way that you use everything as non-distractive. You just use whatever shows up. If it's noises from phones, or if it's an oddball question or something, you just go, yes, and.
No, well, so here's the thing, I love you. The real thing is this, so for me personally, it's something that I'm constantly wanting to work on, and like I said, being in a space where it's your reality, your lived reality is your truth, who am I to say no to that? And so everybody's lived reality, so even people that have been through some pretty substantial or difficult things in their lives, or even if I don't agree with it and I know that's not been my experience, and I know that they're probably going to be in a space where it's going to carry them down a road, that is their lived reality, and they get to do that, and then they'll come back and be like, Jen, you were right. And I'm not going to say, I told you so, because that hurts to hear. I'm going to say, how are you feeling now? And so I really have had to train myself to be in that space of accepting everybody in their lived reality, because we're all on that journey paralleled with each other. And who am I to tell you how to create your journey besides telling you an opportunity that I can invite you to that can help to be able to change that? So, but it's yes, I'm going to say yes to every. Is that what it feels like? Yes. Because to me, also, yes is confirmation. If I disagree, then I'll be like, I think about it in a different way. But I don't ever want somebody's trajectory to be interrupted by my influences. That's kind of where that comes from a little bit. Your reality, your lived reality is your truth, and we're gonna go with it. And that was my mantra through this entire course that I've taken. I'm in a year now of learning how to be a mentor, but it's always go with it. My mantra is go with it. Does that work for you? Go with it. Go with it. That's where you're supposed to be in that moment. And when I said you're exactly where you need to be in your journey, no matter what, that's where that's born from.
And if you're in the mood right now to give her a round of applause, go with it.